She was murdered.
Who could have done this?
It had to be one of us. Gentlemen.
For the record, I didn't do it.
Well, I just can't believe this has happened.
Hello, boys. Let's get down to the bottom of this.
How are you two today? Probably not good, I don't think. Probably not good.
Good evening.
Well, it all started when I got this anonymous invitation to Disney World.
Well, of course I went.
But it was the most curious people there.
I knew it was fishy from the start.
I got there first, but I was greeted by the butler, who I would describe as grim, grinning, and just downright spooky.
Oh, patience.
It wasn't long until the second guest arrived, and she introduced herself as Hotel Heiress Twyla Zone.
Just thought I'd drop by. Your elevator's out of order, by the way. Just behind me was the doctor. Quite the strange woman.
Must have been my imagination. The truth is, I hurried inside because I saw a suspicious fellow outside. Now imagine my surprise when it turned out that he was a guest.
Colonel caught my eye immediately. He had this imposing stature that just commanded the room.
And well, I was last to arrive, and I had no idea what this night would hold for us. Stormy weather we're having.
So we are playing a murder mystery party game in Disney World.
We've all been given these cards, and we have to stay in character while doing these challenges in order to figure out the murder.
Along the way, we'll be showing you some details, hidden secrets, and lesser-known parts of all 4 parks.
It's been a long time since I've been to a gathering like this. Feeling the smell of the fire, feeling the warm morning dew.
I don't think anyone told Sage he can break character.
Of course, the night was about to take a turn. Hosworth told us that our host wanted us to play a game to break the ice.
The task? A small scavenger hunt in Magic Kingdom.
But before we could get started, our final guest arrived.
May.
May Elstrom.
Of course I knew her. I believe we all did.
May.
Little did we know that was the last time we'd see her alive.
May.
Well, except for the murderer, of course. Oh, the powder room? It's down the hall.
Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We were all split up. For the game. We just got a text telling us what our first game is, the party game. And it looks like we have to do a mini scavenger hunt in Magic Kingdom. We're all split up going to different lands, and we have to find 3 specific things. Best of luck to you all. Enjoy your party game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna win.
Bye.
Not if I go there.
Oh no!
All right.
This is the game.
All right,
This is the game.
game 1. My mustache is falling off, but this is one of the things we have to do. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. One of the things we have to do is find a hiding spot around Cinderella Castle. And there's a little alcove right here. Okay, I'm right by the castle, but I'm kind of in this little alcove behind the water fountains, so you can't really see me. So see, complete wall right here. I'm by the castle, and I think if you're standing in front of the castle, you could not find me. So I'm gonna go here. Okay, this is our first challenge. I need you to know I'm carrying a coat in Magic Kingdom. Luckily, it's a party night. So today there are a few people in costumes, so it's not too bad. But this is party game 1. I have no idea what is going to be expected of me today. Like, I know that to win, we have to be the one to figure out the murderer. I get that. But a murder hasn't even happened yet. This game is a mini scavenger hunt. There's just 3 items, and there is a judge, so it's not just the person who does them the fastest, although that is a factor. It's the person who does them the fastest with the best answers. And whoever does will win something, and we don't know. Hopefully we don't win getting to pick who gets murdered.
Maybe they do. Oh my gosh, I need to move faster.
The first thing scavenger hunt that they asked us to do was to start at Cinderella Castle and to starting from Cinderella Castle, find a place that nobody can find you, which seems already there seems suspicious. Well, right away, if I'm looking at Cinderella's castle, I'm gonna find the first place where I believe no one will find me, and up there, that's where they control the sound at the tech booth for all the shows that happen here at Cinderella Castle. So let's find a place. Underneath the tech booth, there's a little place where you can, get some water. But over here, this is my little hiding place. I don't see anybody. I see people across the bridge, a couple people there. I can't really see anybody by the castle. This is the place that if I need to hide for some reason, not for any suspicious reasons, because I'm here to make a clean, a clean break. So I'm on a clean path now. So this is my place.
The game's afoot. Okay, so I'm in Fantasyland. So one of the things I'm going to do is find a food item the host might not know about. So I know exactly where I'm headed. If you go towards the teacups across from Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe in Tomorrowland, you are instantly in Fantasyland, and you have Cheshire Cafe. So here you have a couple of things that I really enjoy. One of those is that Cheshire cat tail for $5.99. It's a really great and yummy pastry, but I am here to talk about the pepper jack pretzel for $7.79. So what I like about the pepper jack pretzel is it's really savory and cheesy and delicious. I think it's definitely more worth your money than a Mickey pretzel. Sorry if that's offensive, but it's just like so warm and gooey. I love to get it. Cheshire Cafe does close a little earlier than other places in the park. So if you want to get that pretzel, you're going to want to get it earlier in the day.
I am doing Liberty Square because my character is Hansworth. So I am the butler, which is very fitting, obviously, for being the ghost host that I am myself. So we are heading that direction, and the first thing we have to do is find someplace where nobody else can see us. A place to hide, in essence, a place where nobody else can see you. I have the perfect place, and we're gonna tuck right back here. No, we are not going into the cast members only area, but we are gonna go right here underneath the stairwell. If you just need to get away from somebody for 5-10 minutes, take a beat, take a breath. It's a good quiet place to kind of just collect yourself. If you're having a little social anxiety around too many people, this is the place to hide.
So I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't really know much, like as far as this whole game thing goes. I think I don't know, I think the criminal, what's his name? The one Sage is hanging out with? I'm still learning everybody's names. He's the criminal. Davy. I think Davy's a little fishy, if you know what I'm saying. I think he's a little suspicious. I think that the butler is a little creepy, I'll be honest. Twyla seems nice on the outside, but a little scary on the inside. My mustache is not staying. That other girl who kind of looks like Jane Porter's father from Tarzan, she seems a little smart. I'll give her that. She seems a little well-versed on communication. I laughed and my mustache fell off. And then the other guy, purple vest, Cassie's friend. I'm sorry, friends, I'll know the names. We just started, so I'm a little bit thrown off. But the professor, something's not sitting quite right. Maybe it's my imagination, but I can't quite figure it out. But let's talk about things that people, for our scavenger hunt. So we found our hiding spot. Now let's talk about some food, okay? So this is Casey's Corner, okay? And honestly, if you think picky eaters are trouble, you might need to come to Casey's. Casey's has lots of good fun items, lots of hot dogs, but the thing that really I think any picky eater could enjoy are these right here. The corn dog nuggets, right here in the middle. Any picky eater, I think that's probably the one.
So over here in Tomorrowland Terrace Restaurant, it's usually not open, hasn't been open for a while. Sometimes they use it for Halloween or fireworks dessert parties. Now once it gets closer to the evenings, they will cut the area off because they do have to get ready for a dessert party. But you can come over here during the day, hang out, sit at some tables that are empty, out of the sun. Got fans going on, so sometimes you may be able to find us here in Tomorrowland Terrace, but right now you can't see a lot of people here. So check number 1 done.
Another thing we need to find is the best allergy-friendly item. So I'm headed to Friar's Nook, where you're going to find some brats and some tots. People love the tots, and by people I mean like Fry Bucket and Quincy and Emma. So they actually have at Friar's Nook, they have the plant-based brat and tots. It's definitely not the best plant-based item in Disney World at all, but it's really great that they have this option because, you know, if you are plant-based eaters, you might want a brat. And right next to Friar's Nook, you also have Storybook Treats. Everyone likes ice cream. At Storybook Treats, you'll find some regular soft serve, vanilla, chocolate, or swirl in a cone or cup. Easy crowd pleaser. You'll also have specialty cones. Right now it's the Aurora cone, which is a Dole Whip strawberry and blue soft serve, as well as the Rapunzel sundae. So, you know, here's the thing. A kid wants a little snack. Are they gonna be upset about ice cream? Definitely not. I would say this is really picky eater friendly.
My character, he's very complicated. Not a lot of detail. He's a quiet man, keeps to himself, but is always watching. Currently, I just don't trust that pirate. I don't trust him. I mean, he was charged for murdering the great Mo Von Ride years ago. And I mean, there's always a little bit of truth, right? There's got to be, even though he got off, isn't there just a little bit of truth about things like that? There's got to be a reason why they thought he did it. So I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with him.
Now let's see, I chose Adventureland because yo ho, adventure life for me. I'm supposed to show this mysterious host, whoever that is, a hidden detail about the best land in Magic Kingdom. Now I will find the murderer. And how I go about doing that is I'm really good about spotting people's lies. Everybody's gotta tell. If they lie, they could crinkle their nose. If they lie, they could look left. Everybody's got to tell, and I will find everybody's tell before this night is over to prove who the murderer is. This is Pirates of the Caribbean, the best ride in all of Magic Kingdom, obviously. Pirates of the Caribbean is a slow-moving dark ride where you find yourself in a battle between angry soldiers and very attractive pirates, such as myself. But this is a hidden detail that our mysterious host definitely didn't know about. Above the exit to the attraction, you can actually find a prop from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. This is Barbossa's sword.
We've made our way all the way back here to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and what we're gonna see here are some pretty creative uses of theming around here. There are a lot of elements of Big Thunder that are pretty amazing. It's easy to get caught up in the really beautiful like orange mountain that is of course themed after Bryce Canyon National Park, but if you look closely, a lot of the theming are actually reused, repurposed, defunct railroad pieces. My favorite of which is actually right here, which is one of the little like cranky things from inside, and it is actually an interactive element located right here. So in the queue, but also outside of the queue, there are some spots where you can get interactive with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, specifically for the disability access line. So if you need to transfer from a wheelchair, have someone in your family who needs to use it, I'm obviously not going to go all the way up. Just showing that you don't miss out on those interactive elements that were added to the queue if you do that. They've got them right here. You can set off a blast. Frank charged. Oh, okay, I see. And then we blast. It's just a pretty cool little element that you might not know you can have access to, even if you can't normally navigate the queue. And actually, if that line is full, you can't do this, but if no one's in that line and you want to do that interactive little element, you can usually walk right over there. Of course, listen to cast members. If it's blocked off, don't go over there. But outside the queue, you can make an explosion happen.
Now for number 2, I know our host is planning a trip to Disney World, so I do have to find something I don't think the host would have known about. I know many secrets about Tomorrowland, but now I just have to pick my favorite one. I'm sure you don't know about this, but there is a big film prop over here in Tomorrowland. I could have also told you about the fountain, but we're gonna go over here. So over here you can find the cool scanner, which is AKA the cool ship, where it's a little snack stand where you can grab a couple items and everything, and you can also cool off on very hot days with these misters. But this is actually a giant film prop. This giant ship right here was actually in the film Flight of the Navigator, and now it lives here in Tomorrowland, and I love that. I'm a big film nerd. So film prop right here in Tomorrowland. Done.
Now we are turning around, going past Mad Tea Party and veering off towards Storybook Circus and New Fantasyland. This used to be Toontown way back in the day, and now it's where you'll find that Dumbo the Flying Elephant ride that everyone loves. A really cute meet and greet with Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck, as well as a really awesome coaster that's a really good starting ride for kids called the Barnstormer. And I'm gonna share something with you that you might not know, or at least the host might not know. When you're walking throughout Storybook Circus, take a look at the ground. Disney is all about the details, and something really fun is you'll find little details related to the circus. So you'll see little peanuts in the ground, as well as animal tracks. Let's see if we can hunt down some animals. That sounded horrible. Okay. You can see some animal tracks, really cute. So that's just a really fun detail that you might not notice because it's on the ground.
All right, so a little unknown fact about this area, just so you know, I'm not gonna show you any cool things or anything like that. The biggest piece of information to know for Liberty Square is there's no restrooms. It's the land that has none. I mean, you can use the streets like they did back in the day, I guess, but I don't think you wanna do that. But there are no restrooms over in Liberty Square.
Okay, and next for our last item on the list, we're gonna go to two different places for the food item. So first, we're gonna take you over here to the lunching pad for a food item our host might not know about. So if you come over here to the lunching pad, this is a little walk-up quick service situation here. Basically a bunch of hot dogs, some Mickey pretzels. They do have the cream cheese pretzel if you're interested in that, but they do have different hot dogs with different fun toppings on it, like the queso fundido hot dog. I bet you didn't know about that, that was here. Now, for the final two food items, we're gonna go to the same spot because there's one place here in Tomorrowland that's gonna have the best option for picky eaters and also a plant-based item. So I don't know if you know where we're heading, but if you watch any Disney videos, you might know.
Now my detective character, he's living with guilt. I've learned he's living with guilt. So I feel like I need to try to learn how to play that up, but like subtly. I don't know, I'm a little bit, how do I put this? I've been around the world. I've seen things. I've been to many, many, many rivers. I mean, I've been to every single jungle. I've been on lots of cruises. And I'd say that I'm a well-learned man, but there's still more we need to find. So I'm gonna head up here into the confectionery and see if maybe we can find something that maybe not everybody would know about. So this is the confectionery. You can get a lot of pre-made items here, as well as a lot of newer, fresh items, lots of seasonal things. And I think something that everyone might not know about is actually Colonel Kitchen, which is kind of back here in the back. It's one of my favorite things. You can kind of see examples of it here in the front case. And that is a build your own popcorn bar. So they have different ones where they kind of have a selection for you to try if you don't know what you want, but then you also can build your own. And it has different kinds of popcorn that do switch out throughout the year, and then you can choose your toppings as well as some chocolate to drizzle on top. And I think this one is a little bit of a hidden gem because it's kind of back here in the back of the confectionery. Really fun, really special, and it's a massive serving. So you can get 2 toppings and syrup for $12.99 or 3 toppings and syrup for $14.99, and then any additional topping is $1. So that's pretty hidden, maybe not well known.
All right, I've escaped that cavalcade outside and popped here into Pecosville Tall Tale Inn and Cafe to talk about some of those food items. So one of the things you have to find is an allergy-friendly item, the best. And I'm gonna go with the allergy-friendly chicken nachos. These are awesome because they kind of get rid of some of those allergens, but you still get most of the main ingredients that the chicken nachos are developed in the first place because tortilla chips don't have gluten. So Gonna go with the chicken nachos for my best allergy offering. This menu is also going to give us something a picky eater would eat with mac and cheese on the kids meal menu. And you do not have to be a kid to order off this menu. It says for guests ages 9 and under, anyone can order off of this. But you can get macaroni and cheese for $6.99. Perfect for picky eaters. Frontierland's a little few and far between for chicken tenders, but that macaroni and cheese is an option. And we might as well finish up with a food item that probably most people don't know about, which is mini churros with chocolate dipper as a dessert here. So they also have that peach and raspberry trifle, which is something a lot of people don't know about. Both of those are pretty tasty if you're in the mood for something sweet. So an option to keep in mind, and another task off of our scavenger hunt.
So we're coming towards the edge of Tomorrowland where it meets Fantasyland. We're gonna come right over here to the entrance of the main quick service location here in Tomorrowland, which is Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe. Number 1, Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe is gonna be your best bet for picky eaters because this is where you're gonna find simple cheeseburger, simple chicken tenders. Those picky eaters you're gonna love eating here. They've got plenty of options for you. Number 2, I do know my mustache is falling off. Hold on. Number 2, the best allergy-friendly item. There is a plant-based patty melt here that our resident vegan Breedlove loves and raves about. So that is also your best option for an allergy. So there we go, done.
Next up, some food for this mysterious host because apparently he's hungry. Yeah, we still don't know who he is. This is Tortuga Tavern, which is currently operating seasonally, but here, oh, it's currently closed. See, you probably don't know about it because right now it's currently closed. But here at Tortuga Tavern, they have a myriad of things. But the thing I want to talk about the most is the orange chicken. The orange chicken is basically chicken fingers tossed in an orange sauce. Now, typically when you think of orange chicken, you think of Chinese food. It doesn't taste like that. You can literally taste the citrus on this orange chicken. It's probably the best thing here at Tortuga Tavern. Whatever you do, don't go to the Golden Oak Outpost. The fries, the soggy, skip it.
And another task that I have is to start at Cinderella Castle and as quickly as possible find a spot where you won't find a lot of people or you won't see a lot of people. So a hiding spot. Okay. So if you go near Pete's Silly Sideshow, that's where the characters meet. You'll meet Goofy, Donald, Minnie Mouse, and Daisy in some really cute circus outfits. Across from Big Top Souvenirs, where you'll find, you know, like Goofy glaciers, candy, and merchandise. They have this little area back here where you can sit down, and there's outlets, and there's like not a lot of people here at all. This might be a good place to kind of take a break from the crowds, recharge your phone. And again, like, look, there's literally nobody over here. And here you can see that they have the outlets. So here's a nice little place to hide, far away from Cinderella Castle.
All right, so for my unknown food item, or maybe just less forgotten food item, is one of my favorite things here at the Magic Kingdom, and it is at Liberty Tree Tavern, and this is going to be the Ooey Gooey Toffee Cake. It is one of my favorite things, and I don't think it gets enough mention. That's just me. I love it, and in Liberty Square, it's going to be one of the little less ones that anybody talks about.
And then while we are here inside the confectionery, I want to talk about some of my favorite allergy-friendly, there's beer in my mouth from my mustache. I want to talk about some of my favorite allergy-friendly snacks, and that is going to be these snacks with characters. So the one right next to me is actually the lemon burst cookies. I'm trying to get them down. Here they are. These are allergy friendly, so you can actually grab them. They are non-gluten and non-GMO, but there are several. So this is the lemon burst cookies. You're gonna find characters on the front to easily identify them, but then you can also find those little kind of symbols here at the top. They also have chocolate chip cookies, and throughout the rest of Disney World, they have different kinds as well. So my favorite allergy friendly.
What do you mean an allergy friendly? Everybody's allergic to something. We're gonna go to Sunshine Tree Terrace for this. That's a great spot to get Dole Whip, which is actually plant-based. Now, if it's called soft serve on the menu, that means it has dairy. But anything marked Dole Whip is plant-based. And if you don't know, you can always ask a cast member to be sure. Don't get swindled by a non-allergy friendly item. That's my job.
All right, we are walking up onto Columbia Harbor House. This is where we're gonna talk about two food menu items for you guys. If you do have a picky eater, this is a place where if you're not a picky eater, there's a lot of good options, but they do just have chicken tenders and fries, which makes it a little bit easier for everybody. And then if you were looking for somebody that has a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle, or you want a plant-based food option, they do have plant-based crab cakes here to keep along with the northeastern style foods and fishes. So here's a great place where it has something for everybody, which would be chicken tenders and fries and the plant-based crab cakes.
All right, my final task is to start at Cinderella Castle and as quickly as possible find a place where I can't see many or any other people. We gotta like find a little hiding spot from Cinderella Castle. And I think I'm gonna be able to do so pretty quickly. Okay, check this out. I'm at the base of Cinderella Castle. We're on the Fantasyland side now. Standing here. And then we're just gonna slide into a nice secretive little spot. 15 steps, and you make your way to this little alcove where there's not really anybody in here. I don't know if this is that good of an answer. I'm sure other people found more private spots, but this is only 15 steps. So the gamble I'm making here is that the party game judge cares more about how close it is to the castle than how private it is. But 15 steps, and you get this like whole little alcove to yourself that no one's in. Now, a lot of times there are character meet and greets over here, which you can check the schedule for in the My Disney Experience app. But if those aren't going on, nobody stands in there. They all think it's just a weird, empty space. So you go stand in there, hide from the crowds.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get into the train station over here. So this train station is home of the Magic Kingdom Railroad. Of course, this is the Main Street stop. There are a handful, but something you might not know is there is actually a lot of history under here. Walt Disney was a very avid train lover, and that is the reason they're in Disneyland. They're in all of the Disney parks, and there's a lot of history through here. So here's interesting stuff about the Lily Bell, who's actually named after Lillian, who was Walt's wife. And then you can see throughout the rest of the train station a lot of really cool and neat information. Walt Disney World Railroad poster, and then just some like little hidden gems. There's stuff about Roy. I don't know if we won this one, but I feel pretty confident. I'm learning my character, I'm learning about myself, and I think I'm gonna really win this one by hopefully other people slipping up. You know, I feel pretty confident that I'm not the murderer. I think I would remember, so we're gonna find out.
I do have to say that I feel confident right now. Now, normally, you know, all these challenges are all about Disney World. This is different. This is something new and exciting, and I want to figure it out. I love Clue, love murder mystery games. I think this is going to be really fun with our group. So I'm very curious to see how the day unfolds. But I think we got it. If I had to guess anyone right off the bat, I think I would guess Sage. He's always suspicious, no matter what he's doing.
Done. No one has seen the doctor for a while. Something is off about that one. I heard her whispering to herself. What kind of secrets could she have? I'm gonna find out.
Twyla, she is a hotel heiress, right? And I think that her hotel has had some murders and some pretty crazy things happen there. She might know exactly how to get away with a murder. I mean, a lot of them happen there, I would assume. And I bet you she got some tips. She might have written a how-to guide.
I like have no idea even like who to think of as the murderer yet because the murder hasn't happened. So I'm gonna keep an eye out. So I'm gonna catch him. It also could be me. I don't know. We weren't told if we were the murderer on our cards. We've made it back together. Party guests reunited.
And I won the game.
I wasn't in for
No,
you.
you didn't.
What?
No, you didn't.
Who won?
Because I did.
The game's afoot. Sorry. She's very fast.
Yeah, that hurt. That one hurt. But before I find out my prize, there's been a murder.
What?
It wasn't any of us that died, but it was one of us that killed him.
Yeah, I know. You just said cut straight to interrogation.
Now, I was starting to think that it was just going to be a fun night, a fun party, but that's when we found her. May L. Strum, dead.
Of course we called the police, but we knew the murderer was one of us.
Well, I used to be in the force myself, but now I'm more of a private investigator. But because of that, I do know to get to the bottom of this, you need to find that murder weapon.
I believe the murderer has hidden the weapon far from the scene of the crime. Split up into pairs to search Disney World. The player who won the party game will get to pick their partner and their park first. Be careful. One of you is a killer and could strike at any moment.
Oh, I like this guy.
What?
All right, we have selected our partners for searching the house for the weapon. Fry, who did you pick first? So I'm so sorry, I'm bad at this game.
I'm not good at this party.
Colonel, who did you choose?
I picked Quincy, or what's her name? Twyla. Sorry. So I picked Twyla because I think she knows more than she's leading on.
I think Fry thinks I did it. Like, I think Fry is like, we can suss it out. I did not kill May. I know I was by the castle, but so was everyone, right? So, you know, I'm nervous. Fry thinks I did it, and actually this is good because I don't think that Fry is the killer. It's a little weird. Did anybody tell Sage that he could break character? All right, and other partnerships that have happened are
Me and this guy.
the detective.
Yeah, I chose the detective because I'm interested in getting to know them more.
We don't know each other well, so it'd be fun.
The reason that I chose the detective, we have unfinished business.
We got picked last. Ended up together.
Well, we're all headed to different parks for our next task, which is to find 3 weapons.
Easy.
To find out which one might be the potential murder weapon. Hey, Colonel. Is there a reason that you picked Epcot? I know your name is Colonel Geodesic, is it not? All right, the Colonel and I have made it to Epcot. We did drop off my fur coat in a locker. Lockers, you can use them in Epcot as well as all the other parks. Rentals do cost money, but they do last all day. You get a passcode, very easy to set up. So we did get one for my fur coat. But now
I gotta tie my shoe. You walk on ahead. I'll meet you there. I gotta tie my shoe.
Colonel, I don't want to turn my back on you. You know, truthfully, he's an old man. Look at the state of that stash. I just don't think he could kill me if he tried. So if he's the murderer, I'm not worried. But it is suspicious that he wanted to stop.
So apparently, there's also a secret task. So I had to tell her to keep on going and have to tie my shoe. My shoes don't even have laces, but whatever. Secret task. Find something that represents you. Well, we already did that. It's right there. Very plain to see. That's me. Colonel Geosphere. Whatever my name is.
So we had to find 3 weapons together, but the true task that we've all been texted, I think, at least I was texted, is to find out our partner's motive. So I know my motive, and I think I'm gonna be kind of cagey about it. Like, I think I might lie. So we all know that there was this murder a few years ago of May Elstrom's husband, the Great Move on Rhine. But none of us know who did that murder. But I was in love with the Great Move on Rhine. Didn't kill him, I think. I was just in love with him, and that's my motive. That's why I didn't like May. But if the Great Move on Rhine is dead, then why would I want May dead? Exactly, it doesn't make any sense. Plus, I was nowhere near the castle when she was murdered. But I'm not gonna tell the Colonel that. So I think the Colonel suspects me. Speaking of the Colonel, is your shoe tied? You don't have any shoelaces!
Are you calling me a liar?
Yes?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, your accent's different. You are shady.
So this attraction in Hollywood Studios is a bit more of an experience. It's a show. You can get a lightning lane, but honestly, I've had very good luck on days that aren't super busy. Even on some busy days, just kind of walking up around showtime and finding a seat. But of course, if you want a really great seat to see everything very, very close, you might want to go for the lightning lane or just show up very early. You can see the times that this goes on in your My Disney Experience app. Let's see, Butler, you got any weapon ideas?
I mean, he does carry a whip.
So weapon 1 that might have killed May, Indiana Jones whip. I think that you found that suspiciously quickly. Anything you have to say about that?
Well, if you look up, it's kind of obvious.
Listen, I have a degree in something related to a doctoral field, and you make me feel very dumb.
Doctor.
I am indeed a doctor. I am a psychiatrist and a pediatrician. And an optometrist. I've been in school for many years.
Okay, we are here at Animal Kingdom, and we were told to get to find the murder weapon.
Three potential murder
Three
weapons.
potential murder weapons. So you said you found the first one.
I found the first. I'm pretty suspicious of that short colonel. Even though she does command a room, I don't think that I trust her.
Colonel Geodesic. Yeah, she's short but untrustworthy. What did you find?
A geodesic sphere. This bubble wand, it is a mouse shape. Take away the ears. What does that look like to you?
You're doing my accent.
A mouse shape. Take away the ears. What does that remind you of? A sphere.
A sphere.
A sphere.
Like Spaceship Earth.
Exactly.
Now I'm doing your accent.
I know.
A sphere.
Exactly.
Like Spaceship Earth.
Exactly. And my thinking is if she was really angry, which she has proven she can be, weapon. Number one.
Done. Let's find two more.
Well, the Colonel and I are of one mind that there's a lot of places to find weapons in Epcot. Funnily enough, in Disney World, you're not allowed to bring weapons in, but you certainly can buy them. Now, you can't carry them around the park after you buy them. There's sort of like a pickup system, but Epcot's a really great place if you want to buy decorative swords. So we have made it to the UK Pavilion, which, Colonel, your accent is British, is it not?
Supposed to be.
See, that's suspicious. It's like you're covering something up.
No, it's just I'm not good at accents. I'm sorry.
All right, fair enough. But we're headed here. If you head into the UK Pavilion, head into the shop, you'll find some very fun stuff. This reminds me of family dinners, except we have a lot more cobwebs in our sitting room. So, Colonel, how did you know May?
Well, she did work for me at one point.
Oh, like up until she died, or?
No. I fired her way before that.
Okay.
Listen, she wasn't bringing me any money anymore. I had to hire two younger sisters from Norway to bring in the cash.
Interesting. And how did she feel about that?
She was obviously hurt, but we left on good terms. So I thought.
We have found some weapons in here for sure. Any of these could have been the murder weapons. There are a ton. And we have to head to different locations. What?
Murder weapon.
Murder weapon. Poison. We found a mace, some hand axes, some picks, some lances, some spears, some swords, some more swords, some battle axes. I think those are all just lances. Halberds. I know what weapons are called because I play a lot of D&D. Not Twyla. Twyla does not play D&D. But you can also buy swords, as the Colonel is sharing, including letter openers, which I really need. But I don't receive my mail because I'm an heiress. And heiresses don't need to receive their mail. This is what we're calling our first potential murder weapon, is a purchasable sword.
We are headed into the gift shop with Tatooine Traders by Star Tours to see if we can find yet another weapon. All right. Here you have a Star Wars build your own lightsaber. So you can build a much, much cheaper lightsaber, but not as tech savvy lightsaber as you'll find at Savi's workshop, where you will do that pretty much $200 lightsaber custom experience. But you can still get a custom lightsaber here. It's probably a good souvenir for children because, you know, it's not $200 for one thing, but you can see a single lightsaber is $30, double lightsaber $45. And it kind of fills that desire to get a nice little Star Wars themed souvenir without having to spend the big bucks at Savi's, although that is a really cool experience. So you think that this killed May?
I do know a few Jedi ghosts.
I didn't know that Jedi ghosts were a thing.
All right, so we have a side mission on what we need to do, and I need to find out a place here at Hollywood Studios that reminds me of my home attraction, which is the Haunted Mansion. And I have the perfect place to go.
He started talking about Jedi ghosts and then disappeared. Am I gonna die? I just don't think it's a good sign that if you start talking about ghosts and then you disappear. I feel like there's a target on my back. If I don't make it back alive. Tell my mom I said hi and like this video. So I have a side task to find something that reminds me of Journey into Imagination. And I know just where to go. Grand Avenue and Hollywood Studios, baby. Do you remember the days of Streets of America? Guess what? They're gone. Also, there's construction going on right now. But we are headed towards Muppet Vision 3D. So this is a theater-like attraction where you will experience the magic of the Muppets during a hilarious film and live-action extravaganza. Well, let me tell you, I brought a non-Disney person to Disney World once, and this was their favorite thing, which I'm not saying it's great. It's lovely. It's an amazing time. I love the very end where you get a little shot of, spoiler alert, something might kind of explode in the building and you see out into the parks. And it's definitely maybe not a reflection of 2023, but it's still great nonetheless. Anyway, so when I think of Muppets, I think of Rainbow Connection. Do you like that song? It's a good song, right? Where did that butler go?
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. This attraction is a different type of thrill ride at Walt Disney World. It combines elements of dark ride storytelling, suspense, and sudden drops to create an immersive journey for those who dare to visit. Where I come from, there's always room for one more. Was that May? Or is it someone here that I can bring with me from the Hollywood Tower Hotel? So why would this doctor want to kill May? Why? There has to be a reason. Did she work for them? Did she give them a bad diagnosis? Was she wrong? Was it malpractice? It has to be malpractice.
Detective, stop.
What?
I have an idea.
Okay.
Do you remember Twyla's fur coat?
Yes. How could you forget that?
We're at the animal kingdom, and maybe she is working in cahoots with the animals.
Oh, they've done her bidding.
Yeah, the animals are her weapons.
That's why there were no fingerprints at the crime scene.
The animals have betrayed us. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So we have the geodesic bubble wands.
Yeah.
Probably a lion or an animal of some sort.
I was thinking a little like monkey hands.
Monkey hands.
Yeah.
Okay, an animal, and we need a third one, a third potential weapon.
I know exactly where to go.
But the detective seems awfully sure about that. They know exactly where to go, which makes me a little suspicious. How would she know exactly where the third murder weapon is?
So I heard your complaints from across the walkway. And I think that, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Elephant in the room. I accidentally sent you to prison.
Well, I didn't want to have to come out with it like this, but yes, it was. You knew I was not guilty, and you still put me as the best person
Listen.
for the murder of the great Mo Von Rye.
In my defense, I really did think you were guilty. I now think we need to discuss why you could have done it this time.
What do you mean?
Let's lay our cards out on the table, Davey. Stop playing games. But I don't want to be wrong again.
Well, fine. Look, I'll tell you. I think May could have been the one to do it. I think she framed me, and look, I know that puts suspicion on me, but look, you gotta understand. I'm on a straight and narrow path now. I would never do it.
I understand, and I have to be honest with you. I have my doubts about May as well. I lost everything when I falsely accused you, and I think it's gonna take the two of us being honest with ourselves to solve this real murder.
So we're gonna find the last murder weapon together?
Yeah.
I really have to use the bathroom. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right back.
I should just stay here then.
Yeah, just wait right there.
No, see, that's awfully suspicious. Nope. Absolutely not.
To be honest, friends, I'm having a hard time with this character thing, and I don't have to go to the bathroom. But I have a side quest. I have to find something that reminds me of the Jungle Cruise because I'm Detective Skippy and I know just the thing. So this is kind of a far walk from the bathroom, quote unquote. But every time I think about the Jungle Cruise, I think about this little beauty. A nice river, a nice lake, and the backside of water. I always am constantly thinking about water, ways to travel around. You know, my mind is just consumed with it. The backside of water, O2H, you know? But I don't want to think about it too much because then it's really going to inspire me to go deeper and deeper into this case. So I need to go find Sage. I can't stop laughing at my upper lip being gone.
This actually reminds me of the tunnels, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is Otter Grotto. This is kind of an underground area where you can see otters, but it also looks like a dark cave with spooky rock work. Reminds me of home.
All right, and next up, we've made it to Japan, where we're going to come over to Mitsukoshi.
No, you cannot make me go in there.
The store?
Oh, we're taking the stairs. Come on. We're taking the stairs.
We don't need to. We're going in the store.
Struck me full of terror right there. Oh.
All right, we've made it into the Japan Pavilion, where this is Mitsukoshi. This is their general store. Find lots of fun items in here, all different kinds of IP, not necessarily Disney. You've got Hello Kitty, you've got Animal Crossing, you've got anime, you've got all sorts of different things. So we also have some very special and unique, authentic items from Japan as well. In the back, they do have the very authentic, very beautiful kimonos. Then they also, in this back room, also have some more swords. There's a lot of swords in Epcot.
Yeah, if it was a sword that was the murder weapon, I think that we might be on the trail.
I think we're onto something. So we've got very different, beautiful swords here as well. Letter openers. All swords and letter openers are replicas. Again, they will need to be shipped to your home. You cannot walk out with these.
So I don't know where he is. I'm just going to move on and see if I can find that third weapon. So I have come to Midway Mania. This is a really fun interactive game in Toy Story Land where you can have your family member become your opponent and try and shoot little targets and win. So where did you materialize from? You didn't happen to find another weapon, did you? You don't happen to have another weapon, do you? Where have you been?
Serving.
This might be the last video you ever see me, but I guess we have decided that the third weapon that could have potentially hurt May are these spring action shooters on Toy Story Mania when you hit targets. I feel like that could have just like killed May right there in front of Cinderella Castle. So that's our third weapon. I guess we can head back. You don't have to walk so close to me.
So May is dead. And it seemed to impact you and affect you so much. Why has it affected you so much?
A human being would drop dead in front of you and it doesn't affect you at all? Look,
I live amongst the dead.
Look, I knew May for many years. We worked together for many years. She was a good friend of mine for many years. Things might have ended off on a difficult note, but that doesn't mean that I would want her dead.
Dead? All right, so after spending a scavenger hunt looking for weapons and dealing with this cuckoo of a doctor, I think she's lost in her own imagination, but I did get it out of her that she did work for May. Things did end on a sour note, and she just wanted to say that she never wanted to see her dead. I don't know. I don't think it was too convincing.
May have lost it a little bit, may have lost my cool, may have revealed a little too much, but here's what I'm thinking. He wasn't my number one pick, but now I'm starting to think that maybe something's off. Maybe this secret employer that he's protecting the anonymity of has something to do with it. Therefore, maybe he has something to do with it. I don't know if he's my number one suspect, because I think that colonel's up to no good. But if I wasn't suspicious of him before, I'm absolutely suspicious of him now.
Okay, so I'm on my way back to find Davy, and I'm not seeing him. which I think is highly suspicious. I gotta look for clues. I'm back where we split up and he's not here. I think he might have done it. I trusted him. I also need to say privately, I think he could have done it because I don't know if you caught it, but he has a good motive to not want May to make it. If he really thinks she's the reason that he was put away, I think he could have done it. Where did you go?
That's a really interesting question, Detective.
Yeah.
I was here waiting for you, and you just vanished, and I had to feel like I was in a better place.
Well, I was only in the restroom for a second. You were gone for like a really long time, Davey, which I think is kind of suspicious. But we've chosen to trust one another, or so you told me to my face earlier.
Yes, that is what I believe to be a thing I once said.
Oh, okay. I don't like how you said that, but there is a third murder weapon to find, so we need to keep going.
Well, you said you knew where it was, so after you.
I said I had a thought. I don't know where it is. That would mean I did it, and I didn't. I don't know if you've noticed, but the professor, and she keeps talking to us. She's like talking about a dragon.
Yes, I remember.
Do you see that? I present to you a dragon.
Are you? What? The stone dragon? Are you saying that? What?
The great stone dragon. What I'm saying is I think she could have used the spikes on this dragon to do some real damage to May.
To May? Oh, to May, not me.
No.
Damage to me.
May
L. Strong. What? So she dropped the dragon and she just used the spikes?
I don't know what she did. I just think
but we know there's a connection.
Can't be a coincidence.
The dragon.
Exactly.
We found the 3 potential murder weapons. Let's report back to the
the true
house. Home.
All right, we're on the hunt for our last and final weapon here in the China Pavilion inside the House of Good Fortune.
It smells really good in here.
It does smell really good in here, but you know, while we're perusing,
I could go for some pickled fish. That's what they served the last night the Sunset Room was open at my daddy's hotel. It's just been closed for like 100 years. I cannot tell you why.
she's always got to talk about her daddy. I think she got issues. Anyways, you know, I am a little curious. I was good friends, not good friends, but very pretty.
Thank you.
Yes. Now I'm very curious. How did you know May?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it seems like this is a party of strangers mostly.
Well, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think we're not actually strangers, and that we're all a little connected, more than we think.
Well, I didn't know May.
You didn't?
Or anyone else here. I knew her husband.
Oh, her husband? How interesting. How do you know her husband?
He's a great film director, the great Mo Von Ride. You've maybe heard of him?
Ah.
And, you know, my hotel is in Hollywood. It was
Excuse you, your daddy's hotel. It's not your hotel. Get it right.
Well, I was living there at the time. And there were premieres always at the Chinese theater where the great Mo Von Ride lived and worked. So I was, you know, in company with him, with the stars.
Interesting.
Not anything you would know about, of course. Parties of the elite class.
No, I'm not a Nepo baby. And now, here they are. The Wall of Swords. Oh my.
Switchblades.
Switchblades. Okay, so we've got knives and switchblades and snakes.
Look at the snakes.
All right, which means we found our 3 murder weapons.
If May wasn't stabbed, well then, we did our best.
We did our best. We tried really, really hard. So let's
start making it back to the others.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I do think. I can't lose my mustache. Quincy, not Quincy, what's her name? Twyla, does seem very suspicious. And the more time that I spend with her, the more time that I think she's not as innocent as we all believe. It's always the Nepo babies. So I think it has something to do with the
Are you ready to go?
Yes, I was just fixing my mustache. So it's time. We need to go back to the study and meet up with everyone again. You know, I had a really lovely time with you. I think we've got to know each other a little bit better. Where'd she go? Did she get a sword?
I just stepped away. We have to do a secret task this time where we get away from our partner and show you something that has to do with the ride we're inspired by. So I am Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror. So I've got something really great, and it is here in Epcot. So it's hard to see because it is nighttime, but you'll see a touch of purple in the sky behind the Morocco Pavilion. You can actually see Tower of Terror from Epcot. Because of that, Tower of Terror is actually painted to match the Morocco building so that when you're looking around World Showcase, it doesn't ruin the immersion of looking at Morocco over there because there's not some scary hotel behind it. It just looks like more of the Morocco buildings. So that is my nod to Tower of Terror. It's the fact that you can see it.
And then you got here and started asking us all these questions.
Well, we don't have enough information to hold you, so you're free to go, but we'll get to the bottom of this.
Let me know if you need anything.
You best do it soon, or I'm going to have to call my father.
I told you I didn't do this.
You know, back in my day in the military, we would have already figured this out by now, but, you know, good luck.
You're sending me back into the room with them? I don't want to die!
Well, what a disaster this is.
I just can't believe it's one of us that killed her.
Funny coming from you when you got twisted up in all those trials years ago.
Now, hang on.
Exactly, and that's why I think it is her.
Well, hang on, Mr. Detective. Funny coming from you when it was you who wrongfully accused me all those years ago.
And now I'm trying to make it.
No, see, that's not the point here.
I don't want to die tonight. We just need to get out of here.
One of you did it. One of you did it.
No, hey, listen, everybody calm down. I'm gonna check his pulse, make sure this butler's dead.
Poor Dustin, poor Butler. I think I wasn't suspicious of him, but I think it's gotta be a fry. It's gotta be the Colonel. It's gotta be the Colonel. Listen, the Colonel has been up to no good since he appeared on this planet.
I haven't seen this much crime since I was locked up. Someone is guilty.
I goofed because I was like 100% sure it was Hansworth, which I know is cliche. Like, obviously the butler did it, whatever, but like, oh, I guess I was wrong because he's dead. Okay. I guess the doctor, because the doctor's been like the least suspicious, so plot twist, that's probably me, the doctor. I'm going doctor for now. This is a really hard game, it's really complicated. Luckily we have one more challenge where we're gonna get one more clue, and hopefully that'll help me solve it.
We will find them. We will capture them. And we will kill them.
You told Sage she doesn't have to stay in character, right?
I told him like 3 times, but he kept telling me, who's Sage? Who's the Sage guy? Okay, so we've got our final game. We don't know what's going on. There's been murders. Several murders.
It's all becoming too much.
Well, we've got a final game to play, and apparently this game is going to give us a really big clue as to who the murderer is, which then whoever guesses it wins. So
Here we go.
Is this all just a guessing game to you? When someone you know
I tried to talk to him.
has been taken away from us. Life is precious.
He's like this. All right, I got another message about what we're supposed to do. With Hansworth dead, we might find some clues at his home. Head to the Haunted Mansion and each person point out their best or least known Easter egg on the ride. You're working together. If everyone finds the hidden pieces of Hansworth's past, I will reveal a clue as to who killed him. They were working together.
I like that we're together.
All right, a ragtag group of party guests arrives at Hansworth's home, the Haunted Mansion.
It's a beautiful
It's a
house.
little dusty in there.
House of Death. It all seems so familiar.
What does that mean? I don't think he knows. So we have to ride Haunted Mansion and each of us find our favorite Easter egg or hidden detail to try to piece together the clues of Hansworth's past and why he might have been murdered. So we're gonna hop in line and head on in. And hopefully we'll find enough clues working together. Enemies working together. A potential murderer working with 4 innocent people to find out about Hansworth's past, shall we?
Okay, gotten off the attraction, found my Easter egg. I'm going with the classic Carousel of Progress Grandma animatronic in the ballroom scene. So when you first get into the ballroom, you see Grandma in the rocking chair. That is a replica of the same animatronic that is in the Carousel of Progress. So Disney reuses their animatronics sometimes. You can also find Hall of Presidents animatronics throughout Spaceship Earth, so Disney does that a lot. So that is my Easter egg for this attraction. I hope it helps because we need all the help we can get.
Okay, we just got off Haunted Mansion. I was kind of expecting there to be a murder, and there wasn't. But, I don't know. It's sketchy. Okay, so basically my Easter egg is that the iconic spooky Haunted Mansion chair that you see sitting right outside the hallway across from the suit of armor actually has a hidden character, and it's better than a hidden Mickey because it's a hidden Donald Duck, and Donald Duck is #1. So that is my hidden secret. Also, has anybody else noticed that Davey keeps switching his eye patch around? Suspicious.
I found the clue with the Easter egg that will hopefully lead to solving this horrible murder. In the queue to the Haunted Mansion, there was a lead pipe. It was halfway sticking out of the ground. It almost resembled a ring. Years later, when they expanded the queue, they decided to make it known as the lore of the Haunted Mansion that it was the ring from the bride. So it's just important that this be known because you never know how good love is until it's gone.
All right, we got our Easter egg. So for me, one of my favorite Easter eggs is when you are in the queue, okay? So you've made it through the stretching room, you're about to get on the ride itself. If you look to your left, there are lots of portraits. I'm scared you can't hear me. There are lots of portraits. And there is one portrait in particular that is it's like, I'm losing my train of thought. It's a fisherman. And so he's there, and it's kind of, there's really no explanation. There's lots of portraits, but he is one in particular. And the reason that I really like this one is because originally when they were conceptualizing the entire ride, at one point he was discussed to have been like the main character or the ghost host, if you will. He's actually represented in the new Haunted Mansion movie very briefly, kind of as a side character. But yeah, it's really, really neat and probably one of my favorites.
Okay, I got my Easter egg and I think it's great. So when you're going through the graveyard scene and you see those singing busts, a lot of people mistake the one with the mustache as Walt Disney, and it is not Walt Disney. It is the voice of Tony the Tiger from Kellogg's. I think his name was Thurl Ravenscroft or something. His quartet, the Mellowmen, was selected for Haunted Mansion to do that singing, but he's also featured in other Disney attractions as well. I think like maybe it's the Country Bears Jamboree, a couple of Disney attractions, so that's really fun and just weird because, you know, when you're going through Haunted Mansion, you're not thinking about cereal or Tony the Tiger.
We've gathered once again. We have sent off the evidence that we found in Hansworth's home to try to piece together his past, and if it's good enough, we should get a text telling us a piece of information that will help us figure out the murderer, and then we have to make the guess.
Everyone, I've got the clue. Hansworth was
not who he said he was.
I have a confession to make. I'm not who I say I was either. Geodesic, FBI. I've been on the Von Ride murder case for years after we found out that Davy J. Locker was not the killer. You know, when I first got the invitation to this party, I had no idea what to expect, as I'm sure you all did. But when I walked in and saw every single one of you who happens to be a suspect in the Von Ride murder case, my Phoenicians, I was in heaven. I recognized all of you, except for one. Hansworth was not a suspect.
He certainly wasn't a butler.
It took me the entire night to figure out that Huntsworth is actually the great Mo Von Ride in disguise.
No. Mo Von Ride was killed years ago.
An attempted murder. Until tonight. It was the doctor. A revenge plot after she confided in Mrs. Strum and Mr. Von Ride after about having her hallucinations about a tiny purple dragon. They told her employer.
And they got a fire.
I had to do it. He told me to do it. You don't know what they did to me. I had to. He's telling me to do it.
I'm finally taking you in.
Wait. That's not how it happens.
It's not?
Hansworth wasn't who he said he was.
I have a confession. Twyla did it. She told me earlier that she recognized Hansworth the butler as the great Mo Von Ride. And she was in love with him. So she killed May to get her out of the way. Admit it.
All right, I did it. I recognized that Hansworth was Mo the moment I saw him. And I knew that now was my only chance to get rid of May so we could finally be together. But I didn't kill Mo.
Then who did?
Davy did.
All right, I did it.
But why?
Because I'm in love with Twyla. Twyla, Mo Von Ride, he doesn't deserve you. He's old. He's slow. Someone would say he was extinct. I should be with you. Look at this. This isn't even real. I was doing it to impress you, Twyla.
You can't have done this. It's murder.
Yo ho, a Twyla's life with me.
Whoa. It also didn't happen that way.
It didn't?
Hansworth was not who he said he was. I finally cracked the case. You all had connections to Miss Strom, Mr. Von Ride. Could have been any one of you that killed May. I'll admit, I'm really not a good detective. A lot of my friends like to say I couldn't solve a mystery if I was in one, and I thought that was true. Until tonight. Because if it's true that Mr. Hansworth was not who he said he was, then all the puzzle pieces are finally falling into place. Because like I said, it could have been any of you, which is why it's even more surprising that it was none of you.
Good job, detective. You are correct. It was me, the great Mo Von Ride. I invited you all here because one of you tried to murder me all those years ago. And I thought it was going to take a while to figure out who did it. However, it was made very clear that it was May when she tried to finish the job she started all those years ago. And during that scuffle, I was the one that wrote her out of the script.
Wait, but if May tried to kill you and you killed May, why'd you fake your own death?
I did it all those years ago. I figured I could do it again because there was no way you would believe me. So I used my movie magic and figured I could fly under the radar and trick you all. Until the dang Detective Skippy over here had to go and figure it all out.
So I guess we finally know just who done it.
If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe.
Now go watch The Bachelor in Disney World.
Oh my gosh, the doctor's dead.
Oh!